who became nationally known when he was indicted by federal prosecutors and pled guilty to tax evasion in 2015. Grimm was released in April after 7 months in jail. And whether national Republicans like it or not, he is back in the spotlight to force another potential GOP civil war with a primary challenge to get his old seat back. Ex-Congressman and ex-con Michael Grimm is here on the beat this evening, and Grimm had a widely covered confrontation with a journalist who asked him about other legal allegations against him in 2014. In fact, Grimm threatened to throw that reporter off the Capitol balcony.
And just finally, before we let you go, since we have you here, we haven't had a chance to kind of talk about some of the...
I'm not speaking about anything that's off topic. This is only about the president.
Well, what about...
Thank you. Let me be clear to you. You have to do that to me again. I'll tell you this.
I just wanted to ask you. Why? This is it's a valid question.
You tell me what. No. You're not man. You're not man.
Michael Grimm is back in the spotlight and joins me for the exclusive interview. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
You look at that clip, is that guy that we just saw there, is that the guy running for Congress, or are you different now?
Well, no, I mean, I'm still the same person, but I think any real person has a bad day and makes a mistake. I mean, for 5 years I dealt with reporters, never had a problem. On that day, I let my emotions get ahead of me. It was one of those days where I was dealing with Sandy, taking 3 steps forward and 5 back. And there's no excuse. That's why I apologized to him. I said something that I shouldn't have said.
You're here coming out of jail for pleading guilty on tax evasion. Are you sorry for that?
Well, listen, I'm sorry that I had delivery boys off the books. You know, and I have to say this, you know, tax evasion, you make it sound so ominous, like I'm Al Capone. I guarantee you, you go to restaurants every day and every delivery boy that delivers food to this station is off the books. That's the reality. I had 3 delivery boys and a dishwasher off the books. In the entire history of this city, that is a civil fine. That's a civil matter, except for one person, Michael Grimm.
Well, so, I'm not making it sound like Al Capone. I'll read from the guilty plea that you signed under oath. You said you were, I'm just going to read from it, concealing over $900,000 in restaurant revenue and saying you knowingly made these misleading statements even though, quote, employees had been paid in cash. And that's how you describe it.
Right. Well, that 900,000 number is not accurate. It's a little bit less than that, but that's over many years. And that also included about 14 months that I didn't even own the restaurant, but that was part of the deal they wanted to make because the number was too small. But the point is, again, why is it a civil matter? Over 10,000 of these fines have been given out to restaurant owners since the beginning of the history of the city of New York. I'm the first one criminally charged because the entire Justice Department was weaponized against me for political purposes. They wanted me out of office, period. But don't get me wrong. I should not have had delivery boys off the books because I shouldn't have been like every other business owner. I should have been better, and I wasn't, and I regret that. Now,
you want a second chance. You want to go back to Congress. Do you think that former felons or ex-convicts like yourself should have the right to vote?
Someone that should never have been a felon? Absolutely. Again.
Should all ex-convicts have the right to vote is my question.
Not necessarily, no. But again, the crime here was the Justice Department making me a felon when I should have gotten a civil fine. There's a big difference. Okay, if you're going to tell me that every single restaurant right now down the block should all be lined up and taken to prison and been made felons, then that's a valid position to have, but then change the policy. But you can't have Mayor de Blasio going out thanking business owners for hiring people off the books and then in a sanctuary city and only singling out Michael Grimm. That's the problem.
But on the voting, is your position that you can go be a convict, be an ex-con, and get back into Congress, but other people shouldn't even have the right to vote?
Well, first of all, that's a misnomer when you say they don't have the right to vote. I have the right to vote. I'll be voting for myself.
Depends on the state. But, like, for example,
we're in New York.
Mitch McConnell has said basically states have a significant interest in reserving the right to vote to those who've abided by the social contract. Leaders in your party do, as I think you know, oppose the right to vote for a lot of ex-convicts like yourself.
Right. Well, not like myself. I think they oppose it for people, especially that do violent crimes, people that are really breaking the law, not civil matters. Okay? A civil matter is a civil matter, and a crime is a crime. I was an FBI agent for over 11 years. And I believe in the law, absolutely. But there is a big difference between a civil infraction and a felony.